Hello and welcome to the Armband. I'm your host Chris, and as always, Kieran is here with me today. How are you doing, Keek?
Yeah, all good. Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm looking forward to the season kicking off. It feels like it's really close now, like 10 days or so. So
Yeah, indeed.
yeah, it's going to be a good one. So today's show we're going to cover a few things really. So our current drafts. Kieran has got a spicy Haaland only draft, which you talked about last week when we did our draft recordings, and now you've done it. No Salah. You'll explain your thinking in a mo. I've got my revised bench boost strategy as well as my updated team, which I'll go through afterwards. So, yeah, a lot to cover today's video. Thanks for everyone's support in these preseason videos. If you do like the show, please hit that like button and subscribe. We're trying to fight that algorithm, looking to hit 25 interactions on a video. We managed it last time, so if we can do it again, that would be superb. And then just briefly, additionally and new for this season, you can support us on Patreon. I've mentioned it in the last couple of shows. Kieran and I have been making content for 6 seasons now, and if you want to help support us and keep the show going and growing, doing it on Patreon is the best way to do it. So the link will be in the description and it will be on the screen. There's going to be entry into our private prize league, head-to-head cup, extra special prizes as well for monthly winners of the private prize league, and you can join our Discord community. So yeah, it'd be great to have you. I think that's enough preamble for 1 week. Let's get to the meat of the show. It's your juicy big Norwegian meat, isn't it?
You could say that, yes,
Yeah.
if you wish. um, yeah, so it's a draft I've been kind of wanting to put together for a few weeks and not really sort of found one that I liked or anything. I wanted to try the Haaland draft because you can kind of get cover from the other mids for Salah, I guess. So yeah, I'll go through it. Sanchez in goal at the moment for obviously the good fixtures for Chelsea. Obviously, they've got a pretty good defense. Assume he's definitely or should be first choice after the Club World Cup and when he was first choice in that. So yeah, and then I've got Dubravka in there at the moment. I think he's supposed to be moving to Burnley. I'm not sure if is it Burnley?
I think
it
it is
Burnley.
Burnley, yeah, because
Yeah,
Trafford's
so
gone and it looks like he'd be coming in there.
Yeah, so if that happens, he's in there for now as 4-0 starting keeper, which could be good for bench boosts if that does happen. Burnley's fixtures not the best, I suppose, but yeah, Tottenham away. But yeah, if you wanted to go game week 2, not too bad either. Yeah, defense wise, I've got Konsa, Pedro Porro is a spicy one at the moment. Necker Williams in there, and then Richards and Steve who are on the bench. Konsa and Richards rotate really well for their good fixtures. Yeah, Porro's in there just because I think like he's under just over 10% owned at the moment. Looking good in preseason, really attacking. And yeah, I just think he's going under the radar. Like 5.5 million's expensive, I suppose. He's probably not going to be the best on defensive contributions, but I do think attacking returns should still trump defensive contributions.
Yes.
And yeah, they're going to look good better from clean sheet perspective, I think, under Frank, and their fixtures are good as well. Like, Bournemouth in game week 3. Game week 3 is fine. West Ham away in game week 4, and then Brighton after that. And then they've got Wolves at home. So all these home fixtures look pretty good, like Burnley, Bournemouth, Wolves, yeah, Villa and 8, like not too bad either. So these fixtures look decent enough, and I think there's going to be a few attacking returns in there for him as well because they're going to be a good attacking side.
Also, just on him as well, obviously it's sad for Maddison, but he's had that injury now in pre-season. So, and with Son leaving, Porro's probably going to be back on most set pieces and corners again now as well.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people are certainly overlooking him. He was good for most teams last year. He gets his returns consistently, attacking wise anyway. So if they're going to be better clean sheet wise, then absolutely looking at people looking at your doggies. Obviously, they're injured. Van der Ven and Romero should be good for defensive contributions, but yeah, Porro is looking like a spicy one at least. He could be someone who could be downgraded, so I could maybe upgrade NGI who's in this draft for like a Rodgers or something like that. But so he is there that you could use some money for, but at the moment he's looking a spicy differential. Necker Williams in there just good value instead of Murillo and Milenkovic. Yeah, good on defensive contributions for an attacking wingback or attacking fullback, is it? So yeah, he's just good value at the moment. And then I have the double in the Liverpool mids.
Look at that midfield line.
Yeah, Wirtz and Gakpo. Gakpo started the last game, scored 2 goals for them against Athletic Club. So yeah, I mean, they've sold Diaz. He was good last season when he was playing that left wing role. Was consistent in getting returns. and was pretty consistent with minutes as well, actually. So yeah, at the moment they've bought no one to play there. He's should be the first choice. He should be good to go from the first start of the season. Obviously, the fixtures like with Newcastle away and Arsenal at home are not great, but Burnley and then Everton after that, ideal. But I think there's no reason Liverpool can't score against Newcastle and Arsenal. Like, they're going to be favourites. So yeah, it's kind of a way to cover Salah with going the Haaland draft, and Wirtz is in there as well, obviously, and both have looked really good in preseason. Wirtz has looked impressive. Ekitike in their last game actually looked good as well. I'm thinking maybe they don't need Isak. Like Ekitike looks like a really good striker, and he's probably going to score goals, and so I was impressed by him. So yeah, those two are kind of covering the Salah spot. There is the problem of not having Salah, but you get Haaland instead as a captain, and against Wolves, who have looked really poor in preseason, especially defensively. So yeah, I've got Ndiaye in there against Leeds. Good fixture start for Everton. I've been kind of unconvinced on him, but I put a tweet out about him, asking people to try and convince me, and it's just maybe I've been sort of converted. Like, penalty taker, scored in the last preseason game against United, did look pretty attacking. So at 6.5 million, there's not really many others that can rival his sort of place, especially with being a penalty taker. So
his DEFCON points were high as well last season. I think it averaged like 11 point something, which is just shy of that 12-point threshold. So
yeah, I'm expecting maybe a few returns in the first few, and that would be fine, or just like 2 returns of the first 3. Like, I think that'd be fine for him.
He and Paqueta are in like quite a sweet spot in that 6 million, 6.5 million midfielder bracket, who are supposedly on pens, and they're quite good for DEFCON points. Those are the only 2 in the game that do that, and Ndiaye's fixtures are probably slightly better.
Yeah, so I like him for price point as well, and just seems like a good pick right now, I suppose. But like I said, I could downgrade Porro to get a Watkins back in there. Like, that's 0.5 difference in the 2 of them. So not Watkins, a Rodgers if I wanted to. It's possible to get up to a 7.5 if I wanted as well. So yeah, interesting. Like, there's options there. Palmer's in there. Like, the first sort of draft of this, I kind of removed Palmer and put Pedro in, but I'm thinking, if I can get Palmer, I do want him. The good fixtures, Talisman looks good in the Club World Cup, of course. Let's hope he can sort of like continue that form rather than the end of season form from last year. But yeah, he's pretty much a lock in a Salah draft and a Haaland draft, I would say. So yeah, I'm a little bit bad by him from the last season, but I think let's just see what happens. He's going to be hard not to pick. He's 52% owned. Hard to bet against him, I think.
I actually had a look at the numbers from the Club World Cup second half of last season and the first half of last season. And obviously the first half of last season he ripped up points wise and he was amazing. The second half totally fell off a cliff. But his underlying metrics in terms of like shots or just shots per game and shots in the box per game, as well as key passes created, were all consistent. There was like no real he's changed positions, so he's less effective. So even though he just wasn't getting the returns in the second half of the season that his underlying numbers would suggest, so it was almost like the second half of the season was a big blip, and there's nothing to say that he won't get back to sort of more consistent returns this season. But it's just that this is the first time he's always been priced at 10.5 million.
Yeah, indeed. I think it's just better to be on that train than not at the start of the season, at least. And then I've got Anderson on the bench as the 5.5 million mid, as just sort of cover that he can kind of rotate quite well with Fulkrug, who is another one from the forwards who's a bit of a spicy pick. But the Forest and West Ham do kind of rotate quite nicely if you wanted to do that. If Anderson's mostly on set pieces, we think, or at least some of them. I think Gibbs White will probably take free kicks and stuff, but if he takes corners and things like that, decent. He's good for defensive contributions, as we've mentioned. So I just think he's probably going to be quite good value. I think he's pretty boring. There's obviously attacking options in Adingra and what's his name, Arias at Wolves. So I like those options, but at the same time he's reliable. Probably going to get like 4 points minimum, like quite a few weeks. And yeah, it's someone with there's more spicy picks in here, like a Gakpo, a Porro, and a Fulkrug. Like he can sort of cover things if they go wrong. So yeah, I think that's okay. And then yeah, the forwards, Haaland in there, captaincy. I rate his first three probably better than Salah's, other than maybe that first obviously home game against Bournemouth. Watkins in there, not really going anywhere. I think he's going to be a lock in basically all my drafts, I think, just because of that price point is really good, and I like the fixtures to start with ahead of Gyökeres. And then yeah, Fulkrug started the last two West Ham games, scored two and two, played most of the minutes. So
he's looked good. He's surprised me that he's just sort of embedded himself into that. Seems like they're playing two up front, and he's
well, they've lost Kudus, so he kind of they haven't bought anyone else. So it seems like they're playing the two at the top, and he should be nailed on. Like he's just been super unlucky, like with injuries there. So he's not turned into a bad player, and he's got really good pedigree. Like he is one of the players I was going to talk about preseason hidden gems later, but I may as well talk about him now. Yeah, so like I can see them. He seems like a great bench boost pick on game week 1 because like 6 million, perfect fixture. I think their fixtures are actually all right as well. Like if he does fine, you can just keep him on.
They're like not bad. Yeah, they're not bad.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, if he blanks away to Sunderland, then he's probably going to be someone who's going to drop in price. But you can just sell him straight away. Like I feel like he's a great option for bench boost 1. And yeah, like I said, he rotates with Anderson fine, and he's kind of a low risk, just 6 million punt that you've got Thiago to go to at Brentford if you have to. There is a few other cheaper ones if you have to as well. So yeah, I like him. That's the draft. But Steve is in there as just bench, just as a 4-0, just placeholder really. I guess it's yet to be known which is the best one, but he's probably going to be good for defensive contributions. So he's probably got the best floor of the 4-0s, I would say. So yeah,
I agree. And when you sent me this draft earlier, you said this one is flames. So you know, having Haaland coverage, we spoke about it a lot last season. I agree. I kind of feel like Haaland's opening set of fixtures are as good or similar to Salah. I say there's been more change in Liverpool's front line than Man City's front line this summer. The lack of preseason does worry me a little bit with City and also Chelsea. Like I think they're only planning to play 2 games, maybe even 1 game, which seems nuts, especially for, I mean, this is off tangent, but Chelsea, the Palace, who have played lots. I don't know how that will affect them, but yeah.
I can see Palace scoring if that's,
Absolutely. But yes, City and Haaland, I think definitely ownership being overlooked, and he does, it's only 0.5 million, but it does afford you a sort of slightly more rounded team, and especially that Gakpo I'd say Gakpo specifically doesn't have as much competition now. He's got that young lad, I can't remember his name, who's like 16, who played in the Athletic Club like B game and looked really strong. Yeah. But that's his only competition at left wing now. If Isak comes in, Isak can play that position, but probably primarily plays centre forward.
He can play there as well, I think. But yeah,
I'd say Gakpo's probably likely to start the season there, and Wirtz is pretty much a lock at the 10. So you're getting 2 of that Liverpool front line for not much more than what Salah is. So yeah, I think that I did it last week and did a no Salah draft, and just having that money to spread elsewhere, it's good. I'd just be interested to get your thoughts on like rotation. I've done a lot of drafts this week and seen so many posts on X about people saying, "Oh, these are like the perfect 2 defensive rotation pairings." I'm just thinking, with DEFCON points, is there much point that we actually pick and rotate like 2 4.5s this season? Like I was having a look at some of the like top players last season, and if you had like started each of the top level players last season, the number of times, so I was looking at percentage of times they would have scored less than 2 points, so a floor. So essentially Tarkowski would have scored less than 2 points 15% of the time, Saliba 15, VVD 16, Murillo 16, Lacroix 20, and Gvardiol 25. So I mean, you could easily pick 3 defenders from that who are like premium ones, set and forget all season, and you don't have to faff around with rotation. I don't know. What do you think about rotation and of the defenders?
I absolutely think that's a viable situation to just go those and just forget about it. Like there's obviously Saliba and VVD, but apart from that, the rest of them are kind of like cheaper. Well, Vardiol's in there as well, but I don't think that'll be as good as this year. But Tarkowski like going to be a good option. Murillo, Milenkovic going to be good options. Lacroix I think is going to be good. Like Gehi as well is up there as well. So Yeah, I see no reason not to just, if you don't want to bother with these 4.5 rotations, then yeah, it's perfectly viable to do that.
Yeah, I agree. And just finally on potentially picking Haaland over Salah, I think you could, feasibly in game weeks 2 and 3 when Salah's got away game against Newcastle and home game against Arsenal, City's fixtures of home against Tottenham and away against Brighton are not bad ones for captaincy alternative as well.
Yep.
How strongly do you think you're pitching towards a Haaland draft at the moment?
I don't know. I mean, I've been making this draft. I've been wanting to just see how it looks, and I do like the two sort of covers for Salah. But yeah, it's probably like a 50-50. I'm still liking Salah drafts, so I'm really not sold on either yet. I think it's just still see what happens in the last few preseason games. If Salah looks really good in the Community Shield, then I'll probably be like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to get him. So yeah, we'll wait and see. Really.
Wait and see. All right. Well, let's switch over and have a look at where I am currently. Some of the picks are going to be quite similar. I've only just sent you this now, so it's like a big, almost like react. It's like Kieran reaction.
I'm having a look. Yeah.
As well. So I'll talk you through it. So the goalkeepers are the same. I think Dubravka seems like an absolute gift if he goes to Burnley at 4 million. He's a good goalkeeper anyways.
He is, yeah.
So I think that would be fine. So what I've tried to do in this draft is last week I had Salah and spread the funds. This week I've sort of gone back to the how I would used to play FPL, which was just leave the dregs on the bench, but as long as the dregs start, that's fine. And I kind of think that's doable this year, especially because of the defenders. So Sanchez and Dubravka in goal. I've gone so big at the back with Virgil, Saliba, and Murillo. So
is this a bench boost draft?
This is a potential bench boost draft.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll maybe get to that in a mo. But yeah, so huge at the back really. I just like the fact that that back line could survive a few weeks really. Like we know Forest have got great fixtures to start. Home games against Brentford, West Ham, Sunderland. Away game against Burnley in their first 6. Arsenal's fixtures perhaps not so good for clean sheets, but they've got 2 decent looking ones, Leeds and Forest at home in the first 6 game weeks. And Liverpool as well, perhaps not like the best defensive fixtures, but they have got Bournemouth, Burnley, Everton, 2 of those at home and Burnley's away. So 3 there. And I just, like I mentioned earlier, I saw some numbers about the sort of the floor of those top picks. And the fact that they were just almost like set and forget, I thought, am I just splitting too much of my cash by making decisions on defenders who I don't necessarily like? So they're all centre-backs. They're all going to play pretty much 90 minutes and they're decent for DEFCON as well, especially Murillo. So yeah, that was the thinking behind the back line. And what I've done...
Surprised you're not on Milankovic because you love him.
I do love him, but what I've read more about Murillo is that he's sort of better on DEFCON, which means this season he'll be better on bonus. And I think over a shorter length of time, if I do an early wildcard, it seems more likely, I think, that Murillo would get bonus from DEFCON than holding Milankovic for a longer time, that he gets lots of goals. But yeah, I do agree. I had like a great time with him last season. So then in midfield, I've really tried to cram. So I've managed to get Palmer, Bruno for the first time, and Salah in there with Anderson. I spoke to you the other day. I was like, do you think it's viable to start 5.5 every week? And I kind of think with Anderson, who also could be someone like Kieran, Drewsbury Hall, maybe it's possible. But the reason Anderson's so good is his price obviously allows you to have someone like Bruno and Palmer. But I'll get to Anderson first as the wedge almost, if you like. So with the DC points, he could turn into a real tidy asset. So last season he would have got 36 DC points, which was the second most of all mids and 54% of games. So essentially every other game he was getting 3 points. If you add that to his attacking output, where he got 2 goals and 6 assists, he's on free kicks. He actually averaged 4.2 points per game last season. So for context, Roger was 4.4, Eze was 4.4, Odegaard was less at 3.9, Sarr 3.9, Foden 3.8, and then Dye, who's probably a bit out of kilter on this chart actually, because he was 3.5, but he would have had some DEFCON points as well. And amazingly, the stat I like the most is Anderson last season scored the same, or with DEFCON included for both of these players, would have scored the same number of points of Brennan Johnson, who had to get 17 attacking returns to do that. That seems nuts. So I don't expect Anderson to get lots of attacking returns, but I do expect him to get a similar amount of DEFCON. So yeah, I just think he allows a nice midfield. So, and on Bruno, the reason I've he's come back into my thinking. I don't necessarily think United have got good fixtures by any stretch of the imagination, but he is the best premium pick for DEFCON. I think it was 11.6
Yep.
he averaged last season. So I don't know if I have the numbers in front of me, but I know for a fact he ended on about 176 points, I think it was. And if he had his DEFCON added, it would have been 196. So he would have had a great season. And I think United's attack has probably only got better. He might be playing deeper to rack up more DC points.
Yeah.
He still looks like he's got penalties from pre-season. So I think Bruno seems like a tidy pick, and he's also not that highly owned at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then from like doing all these drafts this week, it's just made me think that the attack is really just like not where points are going to be this season. So I've managed to get Watkins in, who's my main guy, and then just with the money left, I've managed to afford Strand Larson, who seems like a good 90-minute pick for a poor Wolves team. 14 goals, 4 assists last season. That seems okay. Wolves' fixture's good after game week 1. And then finally, the only punty one is that last striker slot. So if Wissa leaves, Thiago's going to be the main centre forward at Brentford. He's taken penalties in his career at his previous Club Bruges. He's only missed last season because of this knee injury. But Thiago, if Wissa stays, they might play 2 up top. If not, I just get full crook. So the defence, the bench is Butters, but they should all play. That Steve, he'll play. Rolinho, is it? The Sunderland
Reinildo or something?
The Sunderland wing back, he should play. And King has started all of Fulham's pre-season games. He's actually the only 4.5 mid who looks viable for minutes. And then the idea for bench boost would probably be bench boost game week 2 if Dubravka moves. So I'd have double Burnley defence against Sunderland, a Sunderland defender, and King at home against Man United. So even if I could squeeze like 6 to 8 points off that, maybe that would be fine. But
you could squeeze like a Murillo down to Williams if you had to, and then you could get like Thiago up to someone else possibly, or
Welbeck.
So there's wiggle room, isn't there?
But so I just like it. I just was exploring the idea essentially of just trying to squeeze that fourth mid as Anderson, and then because I did have Eze in the Fernandes spot, but he was just not as good on DEFCON as a bit of a uncertainty. So I just feel like this has got 4 really good attacking premiums in Palmer, Bruno, Salah, and Watkins, and it's just got like the 3 what you would expect strongest defences in the league: Virgil, Saliba, and Murillo to start with Sanchez and goal for some good fixtures. So I really like it. And if there's some changes to be made, it would only be based on Wissa and Thiago, I think. So what was the thought process there?
I mean, I get all your thought process, but it does seem kind of, I don't know, boring. It seems like a boring team, doesn't it? Like it's just you're not. There's not many attacking returns outside of, Salah, Bruno, maybe Palmer, Watkins, and then you're thinking, is Strand Larson going to chip in? How often is he going to chip in? Thiago, is how much are they going to do? Brentford going to go downhill this season.
Yeah.
So you're fully leaning into the rule changes, and maybe I should be doing that more, but I'm still kind of on the fence of wanting to go for attacking returns, but I see where you are.
I feel like it's just we just don't know about the DEFCON. Like, how much is it gonna impact the floor of these players? I agree. The reason though I think I've landed on this is because I feel like all the attacking options are really bad. Do you not all like? Sorry, the forwards, I should say.
Yeah, to a degree. I mean, I was going to talk about Mateta as a preseason GM. I was like, I think he looks good, and I think you could probably just pop him in even with bad fixtures, and I think he'll probably do okay. He's like 6% owned at the moment. Like, I don't think the fixtures are that bad. Like Chelsea, Forest, Villa, like the first 3 not great, but then Sunderland, West Ham, Liverpool after that. But then game week 8, I think, is fine as well. 4 goals in preseason, good. Full preseason with Eze and Sarr, assuming as he stays, like he's going to be, provided well. Back-to-back double-digit goal seasons. They've not really had any big changes yet, or they've kept everyone around. No delayed preseasons or injuries. The away games kind of suck, but I think Palace can score probably against anyone because they've had full preseasons. I think a 6% owned, 7.5 million Mateta. When you're kind of looking at like Pedro or Slanky. Slanky's not had any minutes in preseason at all.
He's a
Because of his
void, I
injury.
think.
Like, so yeah, the 7.5 million striker pool has gone down quite a bit. So Mateta seems like he could be a good option. He scored 4 goals in the preseason, 2 is the last game, looking like he's kind of over that sort of injury scare, I guess, so the head thing. So yeah, I like him. That could be someone who's a good forward. And then I just want to mention Marlon, he could be a good 5.5. Like instead of Anderson, if you wanted to just go for attacking returns for your 5.5 mid, like 2% owned at the moment, like good fixtures from Villa. They've lost Rashford and Sensio. They don't really have the personnel for him not to play right now. He's played most of the minutes in preseason. I'm not saying he's nailed on, and I'm skeptical about his minutes, but like I can't deny his like form and eye test from preseason. One goal, 3 assists. Fixtures are so good that obviously people are investing in Villa attack, and there could be the double up Worthy and Rodgers. And is he good enough value to like go down from Rodgers and just pick Marlon instead? It's like 1.5 million saving. It seems pretty good to me. I think people are looking at him as a great option. I like him.
No, I think there's lots of people in preseason who've emerged. Like even 5.5 Harry Wilson looks like he's been really like Fulham have made no signings. He scored 5 goals I think and got an assist at the 5.5. Drewsbury Hall looks like he's going to Everton. So,
Arias goal on his debut for Wolves as well. Yeah.
So that I don't think that 5.5 price point is like as bad. I just feel like for me Anderson seems like the most. I agree he's boring,
reliable,
but he's reliable. And I just feel like I'm trying to obviously have a much better start than I did last season, and I think playing it, I don't know. I just think I faffed out with rotations last time and didn't have enough premiums in place. Whereas I think I've got premiums covered here. I don't think there's anyone I'm really like missing out on. If that makes sense. I don't know. Do you think I'm missing out on anyone?
I guess not. No.
Bowen?
Yeah, Bowen. I don't know. And Evan Nilsson maybe.
Chris Wood. I thought you'd be proud of me.
Oh yeah. Wood was another 7.5. He's just like he's the only. I think they've scored 1 goal in the preseason, and he was the one to get it. But like Forest attack looks. No thanks.
Yeah. So anyway, that's where we are for now. A week and a few days out from the start. What would change it a lot for you? Is there any positions that you think would need to move? Obviously, Sesko coming in.
I don't think that'll change anything. I'll just preseason games more. Preseason, just actually watching highlights and seeing who looks interesting. And I probably will end up on the Salah draft. I imagine, just because I did Haaland all last season, and if I go Salah, I'll probably end up doing that again. But
fair.
Let's leave it there.
All right. Well, we'll be back later this week to talk about sort of top picks, preseason gems. So stick around for that one. Please, if you've made it this far, like and subscribe to the video. Like I mentioned at the beginning, we're looking to get 25 interactions on this one to help us keep growing, and we would love it. So that'd be super. All right. Thanks again, and we'll be back later this week.
Yep. Cheers all.
Bye bye.